Hey, alles gut. And hi, I'm Charles. I'd like to welcome you again to the Hague Tech Podcast. We're here with another walk-in episode, of course, along with my co-host Thomas. And today our guest is Roman, who has started Culture Match, a platform and application to help match people with both cultural events and with other people who want to attend cultural events. So I'd like to welcome you into the studio.
Thank you.
And as
Thanks
our walk-in.
Thanks a lot.
And like to just get a little bit of an introduction on what Culture Match is and why you started it.
Sure. I started Culture Match with a problem I faced myself, and that's reading somewhere you missed a cultural event where you really want to go to.
Which one did you miss?
I missed a concert in Amsterdam from a band where I really want to go to.
What was the name of the band?
Kwang Bin.
Kwang Bin.
Yeah, Kwang Bin. It's a band from I think somewhere in Texas. Really nice music, but I missed it. So and actually a friend of mine who's not a good friend anymore really because
he let you miss the
he
concert.
He went and I missed it. So I thought, well, in the future I don't want to miss my favorite or surprising cultural events. And at the same time, when you know a cultural event you really want to go to, you really don't want to go alone. I mean, maybe to a movie, but to a museum or to a concert, you really want to share that experience. So that's why I came up with the platform Culture Match to combine all the offers of cultural events and match them to the interest of the users of the application. Yeah.
And how does this really evolve on what we currently have? I mean, so I have Google and I have different like Meetup and I have Live Master and different concert things. I can go on like Paradiso and Mugfigs.
Sure, yeah.
Take it. What do you do that makes Culture Match special that I should use it?
Well, because it's so much that you can find cultural events everywhere. You cannot see the woods through the forest anymore. How I
Very
always,
nice Dutch expression.
like
Translated to English.
Yeah. So at the end you end up with nothing because or you cannot choose or you just find something you really like, but the next week that event passed and you want to explore something new. And Culture Match is using algorithm to surprise you every time again when you use the application. And actually, it comes down to having personalized cultural agenda of events. So you don't have to look for it on all the other platforms
In
anymore.
surprising, how do you provide content? Because there's so much at hand, but there's only so much you can grasp during your scrolling down the screen or your laptop screen. And how do you do that?
Well,
for instance, Travelbird for trips only provides 8 options because
True.
It is a sort of amount you can comprehend and choose on.
Yeah.
Perhaps 10 are too much and 5 are too little. So, what's your idea on that?
Well, we want to focus on make it a little playful, so you can actually swipe through the content of events and dislike or like it, and then at the
Sounds
end.
like a very familiar concept. I actually never worked with.
Me neither.
I'm married.
And of course, you can swipe through all the potential events which matching your profile. But I mean, you can also use filters on it based on your location or based on the categories of cultural events you really want to search in for.
And how does the person-to-person matching work? So is it primarily the event matching and then finding personal matching?
It's just what the user really wants. Some user will use it only for matching with cultural events. Some maybe only to match other potential users to share their cultural events with, and then it comes down to a little dating aspect. But you should manage in your settings if you want to be matched to other profiles of users at any time, or you really want to turn it off and just focus on what's there in town to do.
So can I use this to also promote my event?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, as a cultural venue or institute, let's say theater or museum, we really want to cooperate with them and work together to make all the cultural events more findable and more accessible for people who don't know where to find them.
If you're talking about theaters and museums, I instantly get a sort of 60 years old feeling.
Yeah, I'm feeling less like I go on this to date, but to like reconnect with elderly people.
The question then is this a sort of solution for elderly people, or the question actually should be what is your target group for this app?
Good question. Thanks also, because
You're welcome. That's why we're here.
that's actually, I really want to explain. Culture Match should be there for a really broad target group, for a younger generation who want to be surprised by maybe a little, urban-y, cultural events who are there just once a year, because they're so hidden and surprising in a specific category of cultural events, but also maybe more for the elderly group of a generation of people who are basically alone a lot of times, and to maybe match them with another user of the application. Could be a younger person who can learn from the older generation by going together to a specific museum. But it could also be someone with the same age, so you have like a culture buddy or mate to discover more cultural activities with.
It's a quite interesting question, because culture are directly related to age.
True.
Right? The perception of culture, what culture is.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting concept to see whether you can match. For instance, you end up 60-year-old with a, say, 20-year-old at the concert of the band you were wanted to go. What was the name again?
Quang Binh.
Quang Binh.
Yeah.
But is that feasible? Would that be possible?
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, if you want to, and if the possibilities are there, so if it's also shown on the event on our application, if it's accessible for wheelchairs or elderly people. But if you want to go with someone where you can think you can have a great share and experience with by taking them to a band you really like, or maybe a band you don't even know yet because you get surprised from the advice from the application. Yeah, why not? Why can't you go together? And at the same time works the other way. If an elder people want to show you, let's say, Renaissance art, or some themes in culture which maybe more are shown for people with an elderly mind, why not go together to a Rijksmuseum or at Mauritshuis here?
Is it also possible that you see more and more platforms providing, for instance, like Airbnb, besides housing and apartments, also trips and sightseeing and etc. Yeah. Is it also possible is it possible within your app to integrate people who have a certain expertise that go to certain cultural events, participate on the app as a sort of guide, and are connected as a sort of guiding function between cultural events and the target group? Or
I think you've come up with a really nice add-on to Culture Match.
Thank you. This is also what we do here in the Hague Tech.
Yeah.
This is a community feeling. This is sharing.
Exactly. You're only going to take 10% of the company for that idea.
And that's spot on, because why not bring in like a tour guide, for instance, to bring groups of Culture Match users through a museum and show them their knowledge about specific art or etc. And match that person as a cultural
specialist
guru or specialist with people with the same interests.
Interesting.
So I'm not sure if you know this, but this year is actually the Cultural Heritage Year for the European Union.
That's true, yeah.
And so you're doing this app right now just within the Netherlands.
Yep.
Do you think that this is either a platform that other people can learn from to then build within their own countries, or that do you believe that you're building something that then can transgress across borders?
I would love to transpass across borders and let it be working and
European unicorn. We need those.
And manageable in other cities and other countries throughout the world. Yeah, of course. I mean, culture is everywhere. If it's just your local neighbor celebration once a year with a kind of a festival theme, or a contemporary art gallery somewhere in a fancy district of LA, where you're from. It doesn't matter. I mean, it could go globally. Yeah, sure.
And to be specific, you're at the moment in a sort of soft launching phase. With so what can we expect within the coming weeks?
In February, we want to soft launch our beta version of the app.
So people who are interested should go to the site.
Yeah, we're targeting in the province of Brabant, because we have launching content partners like museums and theaters there. So there it's ready for test and feedback back to our company, so we can improve. And within this month, in February, yeah.
And just one last shameless personal question.
Sure.
Are Auto Den Haag games considered cultural events?
Sorry again?
Are Auto Den Haag soccer games considered cultural events?
Yeah, why not?
Okay,
Sure.
I'm very much looking forward to having people actually go to the games with me.
Cool. Yeah, cool.
And again, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to stay here at
Thanks
the Hague
for
Tech
having me
and to
here.
be a walk-in.
Yeah.
And I'd like to invite you all to go to culturematch.nl to be able to follow along with the progress, to reach out to Roman if you have cultural events of your own, or to test the beta when it's released in February. And again, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to be here, and to please subscribe to us on iTunes, YouTube, and SoundCloud. And again, of course, as always, thank you to the Hague Tech and the new media studio, and we're looking forward to having you next time.